My beloved child, listen intently, for the words I am about to reveal are not merely a gentle reminder. They are an urgent proclamation, a sounding bell from eternity itself, awakening your soul to the truth that the hour has come. You have no time left, not a moment more to delay, to hesitate, or to remain in the gray space between light and darkness. Yes, my child, you have arrived at the sacred threshold of a final season, one I myself have appointed for you in love and wisdom, long before you were even formed in your mother's womb. The old season is closed, and you can no longer cling to it, no matter how sweet its memories, how familiar its patterns, or how unfinished its wounds may feel. For now I am bringing forth a complete upheaval, a transformation so profound that your life will never be the same. It is a root-deep exchange, where all that once tethered you to the past will be pulled up, and something entirely new, something you never dared to imagine, will begin to emerge. This is not a mere shift. This is not a recycled version of the past in new clothing. This is rebirth. This is a transfer of destiny. This is the moment when heaven and earth converge, when the outdated laws that once governed your journey are broken to make way for truths from above, truths that will descend upon your life like the first rain of the season, fierce, pure, and unstoppable. Can you feel it? There is something trembling within your spirit because it knows something mighty is drawing near. A door is opening, not to invite you in as a guest, but to usher you into the place that has always been yours by inheritance. Like a rightful heir stepping into their domain, you are being called to what was always meant for you. But in order to enter, you must allow me to strip away every old garment still clinging to your being. The garments of fear, of inadequacy, of disappointment, of all the times you believed you weren't enough. I know there are things you've guarded tightly, believing they were essential parts of who you are. But my child, I did not create you to live forever in the cage of memory and limitation. I have engraved upon your forehead a noble title, chosen by me to bring light into the darkness, and no one, no enemy, no wound, no circumstance can take that from you, unless you yourself refuse to step out of the old. You are standing on a boundary, not just a boundary of time, but a boundary of being. You feel the tension inside you, the pull between the deceptive comfort of what is familiar and the radiant uncertainty of the future I am calling you into. Do not think I am punishing you or pushing you toward something for which you are unprepared. No, my beloved, this is the moment I am lifting you up in my strong arms, setting you on a height you've never dared to envision. But you must let go. You must trust, and you must walk forward in faith. Look back on your journey, every stumble, every silent tear shed in the night, every whispered prayer you thought no one heard. I saw them all. Not one cry of your heart was ignored. Not one sigh passed me by unnoticed. And it is precisely those moments that have forged in you the strength to stand in this hour. The hour when I will reshape you from within, transforming you into more than just a broken version of your past. You will become a new creation, a living reflection of my glory. Will you embrace this divine exchange? Will you allow me to uproot the pain in order to plant purpose? Will you surrender your control so I can give you the fullness of my kingdom? I am not asking for your perfection. I am asking for your willingness. I do not require your strength. I desire your surrender. And in that surrender I will make all things new. Now, my child, lift your eyes. Fix your gaze on me. Do not look back in longing or fear. What lies ahead is more than a new chapter. It is a new book, written by my own hand, soaked in grace, woven with destiny, and sealed with love everlasting. Do you know this, my child? When a seed falls to the ground, it must first undergo decay, breaking apart in the darkness before a new life can rise. I allow the old season to end, not because I am indifferent to you, but because I know if you remain in the comfort zone, you will never discover how strong you truly are. You will never realize that within you lies a treasure from the kingdom of heaven, waiting to be released. I do not want you to merely survive. I want you to live a life that reveals my glory. This is the moment when I overthrow every false throne in your heart. Things you once clung to as your refuge, control, reputation, shallow relationships, or even dreams you built on your own without my guidance. They must collapse so that an unshakable kingdom can arise within you. A kingdom where I am the king, and you are the one entrusted with the authority to carry out heaven's purpose on earth. You will see yourself transformed, the way you think, the way you view life, the way you love. Everything will bear the mark of someone who has been touched by the very hand of the Creator. What once looked like a limitation will become a launching pad. The wounds that once made you retreat will be the very tools I use to heal others. The cracks in your soul will no longer be signs of destruction. They will become openings where the light of heaven shines through most powerfully. Know this: nothing you have walked through in your life is wasted. Even your greatest mistakes will be turned into your greatest lessons. And now, as a new season unfolds, I will cause everything within you, every dream, every holy longing, every potential that was once buried, to come alive. As if new life is rushing through every corner of your soul. Do not be afraid, my child. I know you feel small before the greatness of what is coming, but remember, this does not depend on your strength. It rests entirely on my faithfulness. I am the one who begins, and I am the one who finishes. I have not only started a good work in you, I have committed myself to bringing it to completion. Until you fully reflect my image, my beloved child, you are no longer walking forward as someone carrying the remnants of old years. You are not the person who once writhed in the grip of failure, who sat in silence surrounded by loneliness, or who bore the invisible scars of dreams left undone. I have called you out of that darkness, not to live as a patched-up version of your past, but to walk boldly in the fullness of your new identity, the one I carved into the palm of my hand when I first formed you. This is who you truly are, set apart, chosen, and marked for a divine purpose that no force of hell can stand against. The things that once held you back, that made you breathe half-heartedly and live beneath your full capacity, now is the time for them to be broken. The quiet burdens of yesterday, the words that wounded you, the actions that left you restless, the dreams you abandoned and the promises others failed to keep. I am coming now to bring them to a close. Nothing in your past has the right to accuse you anymore. For I have spoken a new word over your life, the word of freedom. I am shattering every chain of regret that has kept you awake through long nights. I am severing every thread of shame that made you lower your head and live beneath the weight of self-condemnation. I am breaking open every iron door you locked yourself behind, believing you were unworthy of stepping into freedom. My child, I tell you truly, the opportunities you thought had passed, the doors you believed were closed, they are not the end. In the power and endless mercy of my name, I not only restore, but I renew. I do not merely return what was lost. I give you more than you ever dared to hope for. At this very moment, as you read these words with an open heart, I am standing in the midst of your life, proclaiming something irrevocable. Be free. Free from the past, free from accusations, free from the harsh judgment of your own mind, free from every distorted image the world has ever placed upon you. And when I declare something, no power in heaven, on earth, or in the realm of darkness can nullify it. My word is eternal. When I say you are set free, you are truly free. No more chains, no more captivity in your mind or soul. I have opened the prison door and called you out as one who has been fully restored. Do you know this? There are so many people in this world who pass through the years never knowing what it feels like to live lightly, to be loved without needing to hide, to walk through life without carrying the heavy emotional backpacks of their past. But you, my child, are being invited today to experience exactly that. Not because you have earned it by the standards of the world, but because you are the one I have chosen. You are loved with an unconditional love. You are called not because of your accomplishments, but because of my faithful presence within you. And for that reason, I proclaim, you are no longer a prisoner of yesterday. You are the heir of a tomorrow overflowing with hope. Do not let the old voices in your mind convince you that you cannot change. Do not let painful memories drag you back to the places from which I have already delivered you. Every time you feel yourself slipping into old patterns, remember this: the freedom I have given you is not some vague concept. It is a powerful reality. I am right here beside you, ready to guide you through every rough path and lead you into the place where my light shines without ceasing. Imagine yourself as a clay jar that was once broken. I did not throw it away. On the contrary, I gathered each shattered piece, and in my creative love, I not only mended it, I filled it with new glory. Every crack is now a window through which my light pours out. Every old wound is no longer a symbol of weakness, but a living testimony of my healing and restoring power. You no longer need to prove anything. You don't have to strive for acceptance or wear yourself out trying to please anyone. You have already been accepted by the one who formed the heavens and the earth. My love for you doesn't fluctuate based on what you've done or haven't done. My love is the solid foundation upon which you can rebuild everything. So, my child, hesitate no longer. Step out. Step into a completely new season, a season of deep restoration, of abundant life and sacred purpose. This is the moment where you no longer live just to survive, but begin to live as one who carries the very breath of heaven. Every word you speak, every action you take will reflect the grace and love you've received. Let me remind you once more, your freedom does not come from trying to forget your past, but from knowing that I have entered into your past with you, and I am rewriting it with a new ending. There is nothing so ruined that I cannot restore. No wound is too deep for my love to reach. You are free, not because everything on the outside is perfect, but because I am at work within you, making all things new. My beloved, this is the hour of eternal transformation. This is the moment where the history of your life is being rewritten with the ink of forgiveness, healing, and deliverance. Do not look back. Do not hesitate. Do not live one more day as though you are still bound. You have been called beloved, forgiven, and free. My beloved child, today is a sacred day. This is not just another fleeting moment in the endless current of time. This is a divine moment, an appointed hour in the realm of heaven, when I, the one who crafted the universe and formed each beat of your heart, have chosen to establish something entirely new within you. I am entering into a holy covenant with you, not one written on earthly paper, but one engraved deep within your soul, sealed with the everlasting presence of my Spirit. This is a covenant that cannot be broken, altered, or stolen by any power. It is a covenant of complete transformation. Listen closely, my child, for what I am about to declare is the very foundation upon which everything in your life from this moment forward will be built. From this point on, nothing will remain as it was. Not the scenery around you, not the people who once walked closely beside you, not even the familiar thoughts that have governed your mind and emotions for so many years. All of it will change, profoundly, completely, and irreversibly. Can you sense it? The spiritual heavens are opening. The atmosphere is shifting. A gentle breeze from heaven is sweeping in, weaving its way through the deepest chambers of your soul, stirring places that have long been parched, awakening dreams you buried out of fear, pain, or disappointment. I am not here to repair what was broken. I am here to recreate, not patchwork, not superficial mending, but holy recreation. From the inside out, from the root to the farthest branch, I am giving you new eyes no longer clouded by prejudice or past wounds. These are not eyes that merely assess situations by human standards, but eyes that see through the outer shell and perceive what I see: the hidden potential, the radiant glory, the good and sovereign purpose behind every trial. With these eyes, you will no longer view yourself as a victim of circumstances, but as one chosen by me to shine my light in the midst of the world. And not only that, I am placing within you a new heart, a heart no longer shut tight out of fear, no longer calloused by too many losses. This is a heart that feels the weight of truth, that can detect my whisper even in the loudest chaos. A heart that weeps when others hurt, that rejoices when a soul is redeemed, and that beats with the rhythm of heaven rather than the fluctuations of unstable emotion. With this heart, you will no longer live just for yourself, but will carry my love to those who are withering from loneliness, wandering in confusion, or bleeding from rejection. But above all, I give you a new spirit, a spirit awakened by holy fire, nourished by truth, and guided by my very own Spirit. This spirit will no longer be ruled by fear or chained by doubt. It will become strong, discerning, and full of divine authority, because it is directly connected to the source of all life. No longer dependent on human wisdom, you will begin to hear my voice more clearly than ever before. The decisions that once drained you with uncertainty will now be illuminated by the light of my Spirit's direction. My child, as I establish this covenant with you, know this: I am not asking for immediate perfection. I am not expecting you to understand everything at once. What I desire is your willingness, your openness to let me in your courage to step out from the worn paths of safety, your surrender of the things that no longer belong to this new season. And I promise you this: if you walk with me, step by step, you will look back one day and not even recognize yourself. Not because you have been lost, but because you have finally been found. There may be those around you who will not understand what I am doing within you. They may question, they may doubt, and some may even walk away from you, not because of anything you've done wrong, but simply because they can no longer keep pace with the speed at which I am lifting you up. But do not grieve, and do not be confused. This covenant is not meant to win human approval. It is meant to lead you into your God-ordained destiny. Those who truly belong in your life will remain. Those who are no longer aligned with your new season will be released. And that is not a loss. It is a divine purification. Do not let the noise of the world drown out my gentle whisper. Do not allow the flickering lights of glamour and illusion to distract you from my steady, unwavering light. Walk forward with sure steps, with an awakened mind and an open heart. For I am not only doing something new for you, I am doing something new through you, so that the world might see a beam of hope piercing the night through your life. Remember, you are no longer who you once were. From this day forward, you do not merely exist, you live within the covenant. And when you live in covenant, everything you touch will begin to carry the imprint of restoration. Every word you speak will carry the fragrance of life. Every step you take will leave a trail of grace behind you. This is the season of expansion, the season of release, the season where the prayers you once only dared to whisper in secret will now be answered openly, so that all may know, it is I, the Lord, who have done this. And the most wondrous part of it all is this: I am not doing it apart from you. I am doing it with you, in every breath you take, in every tear you shed, in every quiet whisper uttered in the stillness of night. My beloved child, sit with me and open your heart, for what I am about to say is the culmination of love, faithfulness, and justice that I have poured over you through the silent years. Those long days when you felt alone, yet never let go of your faith in me. I was there, in every tear you cried when no one was watching, in every feeble prayer you prayed yet refused to abandon, in every moment you chose what was right though it cost you your comfort and peace. And today, I have come to respond. You called upon me, not from the brilliance of triumph, but from the depth of darkness when no one stood beside you. You lifted your eyes to me when others turned their backs, when they gave in to doubt or surrendered to circumstance, but you did not. You were not strong because you had no fear. You were strong because in the midst of fear, you still chose to believe. You did not give up, not because you never wanted to, but because every time you were tempted to let go, you heard that sacred whisper from deep within: just hold on to me. I have heard you. Every hidden cry, every sigh that you thought went unnoticed has reached my heart. Not a single breath you've taken has been wasted. Not a single plea has been overlooked. And because you have sought me not merely with words, but with your very life, I have seen your endurance when everything around you was falling apart. I have seen your faithfulness when you had the chance to take the easier way but chose not to. I have seen the quiet sacrifices when you loved without being loved in return. when you served without recognition, when you endured without being understood. And now, I come not only to say that I have seen, but to reward what I have seen. My beloved child, I am lifting you up, not in the way the world often elevates someone, not with applause or fame, not in the eyes of the crowd. I am lifting you by placing upon your head a crown, a heavenly symbol of victory that no one can remove. This is not a perishable reward, not something the world can see or comprehend. It is eternal glory. The world will not understand it. Those who live by human standards will not perceive it, but those who belong to me, those with spiritual eyes, will recognize the radiant light shining from your soul, for you are crowned with the mark of one who has overcome. You did not overcome because you were the strongest or the most skilled. You overcame because you refused to give up. Your victory did not come because you had all the answers, but because you chose to trust me even when everything was uncertain and obscured. I never needed your perfection. I only asked for your obedience. And you obeyed, even when it cost you dearly, even when it left your spirit bleeding, even when you had to stand alone, when you longed for someone to stand beside you. Today I declare that you are entering a season of harvest, a harvest so abundant even you may not remember all the seeds you've sown. For there were moments when you planted simply by speaking a timely word. There were times you sowed by forgiving the one who wounded you. You sowed in secret through silent intercession for those who never even knew. You asked for nothing in return, expecting no applause, because your heart only longed to please me. And in those moments, I, your Father, was quietly planting blessings in the soil of your life. There are rewards on their way to you, not because you chased them, but because you chased after me. I have recorded every time you chose me over ease. I have etched in my heart every step you took into the unknown, carrying only the light of hope. And I tell you with certainty, not a single seed you planted in love will fall to the ground in vain. Not one act of compassion, not one song of praise through pain, not one moment of trust during the storm is meaningless in my sight. And now, you will begin to see the fruit blossom. It may not come instantly, nor on the timeline you've imagined, but it will come. In the perfect timing I have appointed. Doors will open, not because you knocked for ages, but because I, the Lord of the harvest, have chosen to open them. Blessings will rush toward you like a mighty river, not because you demanded them, but because I love you and delight in giving good gifts to my child. I know there are still quiet doubts hidden in the corners of your heart, those whispered questions. Am I truly worthy to receive what is good? You still wonder, were those promises really meant for me? My child, be at peace. Not one promise from my mouth falls to the ground void. Everything I have spoken will come to pass, not by your strength, but by the power of my eternal Spirit. Do not measure what I am about to do by your old self. Look instead to me, the one who began the work and will bring it to completion. And let me assure you of this: the rewards I am pouring out will not make you arrogant, nor will they cause you to lose yourself. For with this harvest I am also giving you a heart of humility, hands that are generous, and wisdom to steward all things well, for purposes far greater than yourself. You will not only receive blessings, you will become a blessing. So step boldly into this new season with steady feet and a grateful heart. Look back on your past not with regret, but with deep gratitude, for every trial shaped you into who you are now. The darkness taught you to treasure the light. The wilderness made you thirst for the spring, and now that spring is breaking forth before your eyes, not only to refresh you, but to transform you into a stream of living water for others. You are stepping into something new, not merely as a survivor of the storm, but as a victor emerging from a long and hard-fought battle. I have been preparing you day by day, hour by hour, and now everything is ready. Go forth, my child. The crown of victory has already been placed upon your head. The harvest is calling your name, and I, your Father, am opening my arms wide, walking beside you, leading you into a place where glory is no longer a promise. It is a living, breathing reality. My beloved one, if there is one truth I long for you to engrave deeply upon your heart in this sacred moment, it is this: you do not need to be afraid. Even if the ground beneath your feet begins to tremble, even if everything around you seems to be collapsing, you can still stand firm, because I am there right beside you. The sudden shifts, the seemingly illogical changes, the turns that leave you bewildered are not signs of chaos, but clear evidence that my hand is moving. Do not panic. Do not be dismayed. What you are walking through is not an ending, but a door opening into a new chapter, one more sacred, more glorious, and far deeper than anything you've ever dreamed. You may see things around you cracking and breaking. Relationships you thought were strong may be unraveling. What once felt secure may now feel as fragile as ashes. But do not let your eyes deceive your soul. What appears to be falling apart, I am using as part of a divine reconstruction. The fragments in my hands are not destined for ruin. They are the raw material for a masterpiece more magnificent, more intricate, more radiant than anything you've ever known. I know you feel confused. I know you don't understand why everything is happening so fast, so forcefully, but trust me, for I never act without purpose. I am not dismantling your life to crush you. No, my precious child. I am tearing down what is temporary, what was built on faulty foundations, what you constructed out of fear or pain, so that I can lay a foundation that is deep, true, and enduring. I am making space for the new, something more glorious, more holy, and closer to my heart than anything you've ever clung to. What you feel as tearing, I am tenderly mending. You cannot imagine the care and patience I've poured into healing your soul, not with coarse bandages, but with soft, sacred cloth woven from my mercy and wisdom. I do not heal by hiding your wounds. I heal by going to the very root, to the places where pain has lived unnamed for too long. I walk into those dark rooms with gentle light, and one by one, I lift the burdens you've carried far too long. And what you call loss is in truth a holy formation, because not everything and not everyone can follow you into the new season. Some people, some roles, some connections were only meant for a former chapter. I do not take anything from you without preparing something more valuable, more eternal in return. Sometimes loss is the only way I can bring you closer to the truth of who you are, the essence I placed in you from the very beginning. Picture yourself as a great unchiseled stone. Every strike of the hammer, every fall of the chisel that once felt like destruction, is actually my hand, carving away the rough exterior to reveal the masterpiece I've seen all along. Even before you were formed, each blow, each fracture, is not evidence of devastation but of my active, intentional craftsmanship. I will not abandon you midway through the process. I never begin a work without the full intention to complete it, and once I've set my hand to shape you, I will not stop until you fully reflect the beauty of the one who created you. My dear child, the trials you have walked through were never in vain. Every tear you shed, every time you fell, only to rise again, every night you lay in silence, staring at the ceiling, unsure of what tomorrow might bring, each of those moments was a sacred thread woven into the tapestry of who you are today. You are not merely the result of what you have endured. You are the living testimony of my relentless mercy, a walking reminder that grace never abandoned you. And now, as the ground begins to tremble once more, do not let your heart be swept away by the chaos. Let your soul anchor itself in this truth: I am doing something good. Even when your eyes cannot yet see it, even when your heart still aches. My plans for you have never slipped out of my hands. I am not surprised by circumstances. I am not limited by time. I am the Sovereign One, and your life is being woven with threads of glory drawn from my very throne. There are things you will only understand in hindsight. There are pains that will only make sense when you begin to see the fruit they produce. But until that day comes, I ask you to keep your heart tender, your faith unwavering, and your eyes fixed on me, because you are not going through this process alone. I am with you, in every shift, in every upheaval, in every moment where your only prayer is a silent sigh. I understand. And still, I hold your hand tightly. My beloved, this is the moment for you to rise, not by your own strength, but by the guidance of my Spirit. This is the time for you to stop seeing change as a threat and instead recognize it as the sign of a new birthing. What I am doing within you is not just for your sake. It is for the many souls who will be touched through your life. You are becoming a river, a source of life flowing into the barren lands around you. Let me finish the painting. Don't try to seize the brush. Don't rush to conclusions before the masterpiece is complete. I am the master artist, the architect of all time, and I know exactly what lines must be drawn. And when I bring it to completion, not only will you see it, but all who witness your journey will declare, truly, this is the work of the Lord. So, my child, when the earth shakes, know that heaven is preparing to pour out blessing. When a door closes, trust that another one is opening to lead you into greater spaces. When the familiar fades, remember that the eternal is just beginning to take shape. I do not dismantle to destroy. I dismantle to rebuild. I do not tear down to leave you abandoned, but to bring you closer to the divine purpose I crafted for you before time began. You are not left behind in the rubble. You are being born from within it, stronger, brighter, and nearer to me than ever before. So rise, wipe your tears, and move forward, for your new day has arrived, and I, the living God, am walking with you into its glory. My precious one, every step you've taken, no matter how small, no matter how uncertain, has been engraved upon my heart like a sacred melody. Not a single act of faith has been overlooked. Not once have you struggled forward in the darkness without my full attention. Every step you've taken toward me, through doubt, through lack of support, through unbearable loneliness, I have counted as righteousness, more pleasing to me than any offering laid upon an altar. I saw you when you chose to love, even while anger blazed like fire within your heart, when everything inside you wanted to cry out in judgment, yet you bowed your head in silence and clung to gentleness. I was there. When you chose forgiveness instead of demanding justice for yourself, when you laid down your right to be angry and embraced peace instead, my heart trembled with love for you. I saw you when your soul felt as if it might shatter from the pain, and yet you still chose to hope, still lifted your eyes toward me, even while the darkness whispered in your ear that there was no longer any reason to trust. You do not realize that every quiet choice you made became a sweet fragrance rising to the heavens. No one else may have seen it, but I did. No one else may have understood the value of what you gave up, but I did. And today, I want you to know, not a single moment of those silent journeys has ever been forgotten by me. I didn't just see them, I remembered them, I cherished them. And now, I am beginning to respond, not with shallow rewards, but with a deep transformation within you. A work that will rise like fire from the core of your soul. You will no longer merely live as someone trying to survive. You will live as one clothed in power from heaven. The signs of my presence will no longer only be found around you. From within you, a greater sign is being born. A light that cannot be extinguished. A life that cannot be shaken. I am awakening within you a spiritual current that has never truly run dry, even when you felt completely empty. You believed you had reached the end of your strength. But I say, a new stream of life is bursting forth from the deepest place in your soul. This is no passing wave of emotion. It is drawn from the very fountain of life where I dwell within you. No matter how loud the noise of the world may roar, you will no longer be distracted. No matter how many voices of chaos, doubt, and accusation rise up around you, your heart will remain astonishingly still. Not because everything outside has become calm, but because within you there is a sacred place no one can invade, a sanctuary where my presence reigns, a peace the world cannot give, and neither can it take away. While others are swept into confusion, you will stand firm. While they sway beneath the weight of deception, you will recognize my true voice and follow it. You will not run dry in seasons of drought. When the land around you cracks from dryness, when the hope of many fades beneath the weight of disappointment, blossoms will begin to appear in you. Not because you possess some superhuman strength, but because your roots reach into waters that never fail. I am your source of life, and I have promised, whoever thirsts and comes to me will never thirst again. You have come. You have thirsted. And now, you will experience a satisfaction that surpasses all understanding. Look back and you will see what you called sacrifice, I am turning into harvest. What you thought was loss, I am transforming into spiritual riches beyond measure. The long nights that seemed pointless are becoming the very foundation of the glorious day I have prepared for you. You are not lost. You are not abandoned. You are being led. Surely and steadily, step by step, by the faithful hand of the one who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. And, my child, you are not alone on this journey. Even when you feel utterly by yourself, every step you take echoes with my presence beside you. I have gone ahead of you to prepare the way. I am walking beside you to uphold you, and I will come behind you to protect you. In every direction my presence surrounds you, and for that reason, nothing can hinder what I have destined for your life. Within you, there will no longer be just the remnants of a wounded soul, but the rising of one who carries healing for the world. You will no longer be merely a survivor of storms, but a bearer of the fire of life, igniting light in the darkest places. What I have placed within you will no longer be suppressed by fear or hesitation. I will stir it up. I will awaken it. I will lead the way. And you, my child, will no longer walk as one who holds back, but as one who moves in the power of resurrection. Be ready, for the days ahead will not resemble the days that have passed. You will not only witness me working on your behalf, but you will become the vessel through which I work. Every act of love, every word of encouragement, every quiet offering of devotion, I will multiply them. You will become a conduit of blessing. You will be like a river, quenching the thirst of weary souls. And in time, you will understand the years you spent faithfully in silence were never wasted. They were investments, now yielding a divine return for the kingdom of heaven. So, my beloved, be courageous, be strong. Keep moving forward, for a greater light is rising from the very place you once believed to be your weakness. And in that light, you will not only see me, you will see yourself, strong, radiant, and freer than ever before. This is your moment. This is the hour of resurrection. And I, the faithful one, am calling you into the glory I prepared for you before the foundations of the world. My precious one, as the light within you begins to shine with unmistakable brilliance, as the transformation in your soul and your life becomes undeniable, there will be those around you who no longer recognize you. They will see a familiar face, hear the voice they once knew, but they will sense something profoundly different. They will touch your presence, but feel unable to grasp your spirit. They will stand before you, yet feel as if they are meeting a version of you they were never prepared to know or accept. And this may weigh heavily on your heart. But child, do not grieve. Do not believe you have lost someone simply because you are stepping into something new. You are not losing. You are growing. And not everyone can walk with you in the journey of spiritual maturity, of calling and of sanctification that I am unfolding within you. Some people were only assigned to a short chapter of your story. Some relationships were meant to carry you for a stretch of the road, not the entire journey. Do not blame them. Do not reject them. But also, do not allow them to anchor you to a place where you no longer belong. You must understand this deeply. I am calling you into territories not everyone is invited to enter. It is not because you are better, but because you are more willing. Not because you are superior, but because you said yes while others still hesitated. And this calling, this divine election, requires you to place your entire heart, mind, and soul into my hands. You cannot bring everyone with you. You cannot pull others forward if they are not ready or willing to walk deeper into my presence. There will be some who respond to you with confusion. They will wonder why you no longer seem the same, why their criticisms no longer wound you, why you are no longer desperate for their approval, why you stand in peace amid chaos and overflow with mercy in a judgmental world. They will notice something distant in your gaze, something deeper, as though you are seeing into a reality they have yet to encounter. And they may pull away, they may hesitate, They may create distance, but, my dear child, do not be quick to turn back just to ease the discomfort of others. You were not called to live within the confines they've placed around you. You were called to break through those limits, gently yet resolutely. You were summoned to rise, not in rejection of them, but in obedience to the heavenly call. And as you rise, you are not abandoning them. You are sowing hope. Hope that one day they too will find the courage to follow the light, just as you once did. Continue to love them. Be patient and tender with their limitations, but do not trade your destiny to keep their comfort intact. You carry a sacred responsibility within you, a mission entrusted by the one who breathed life into your being. Your destiny is not just about you. It is about the lives you will touch, the souls that will be awakened, the hearts that will be healed because of your presence in this world. And to fulfill that, you must remain wholly focused, unshaken by the voices around you, and unmoved by the hands that still cling to the version of you they used to know. You are in the midst of a divine process that few will understand. It is a process of shedding old layers, old definitions, old molds and limits you once accepted as your natural self. But now, I am revealing to you the true self I designed from the beginning, not distorted by the expectations of the world, not imprisoned by wounds of the past. A self that is alive, free, strong, and radiant with light. And because of this, there will be a season of loneliness. But do not fear that solitude. It is not abandonment. It is sacred space I have created for you, to be still, to be saturated, to be filled with my presence. It is where the refining takes place, where the final impurities of fear and dependency are drawn out, so that only pure gold remains. You will emerge from that place, no longer a person who lives to please, but one who lives to glorify my name. Remember this: you are not losing, you are finding. Not all separation is wounding. Some distances are divine arrangements to shield you from what would hold you back. Some partings are my way of protecting you from influences no longer aligned with the new creation I am forming in you. And you need not apologize for growing. You need not apologize for changing according to the will of your Heavenly Father. Those who truly love you will learn to love you through the transformation. Those who cannot, let them go in the peace I give. My child, this is a time of divine distinction between the old and the new, between mediocrity and excellence, between what is safe and what is sacred. I have not called you to live an ordinary life. I have called you to be a living testimony of the power of transformation through grace. And that calling demands that you walk without hesitation, without delay, and without being hindered by the reservations of those around you. Go on, my beloved. At times, you will see the backs of those who once walked beside you turn away on a different path. But lift your eyes, for you will see me waiting ahead. With arms wide open, with eyes shining with joy, and with a voice full of power declaring, "My child, I am well pleased with you." And when you arrive there, when you stand upon the heights I have prepared for you, you will understand. Every letting go had a reason. Every person left behind had their time. And every step you took was etched with eternal value. My precious child, lift your head and look forward. For what I am about to reveal to you is not behind, it is ahead of you, more radiant and more holy than ever before. The path you now walk may have narrowed, no longer wide, no longer crowded as it once was. But do not let that cause you to doubt. For it is in this narrowing that my light shines brighter, clearer, and more purely than ever. When I narrow the path before you, it is not to confine you, but to refine your steps, to ensure that every stride you take carries the weight of wisdom and the sacred mission I have entrusted to you. The road ahead is no longer a journey for the many. It is now a sacred pilgrimage reserved for those whose hearts dare to respond to heaven's call, even when applause is absent and recognition is rare. But do not fear the solitude. Do not mistake the quietness of the journey for abandonment. For in these still places where few dare to tread, I am quietly orchestrating something great. I am bringing into your life the right people, at the right time, with the right spirit, those who resonate on the same spiritual frequency as you. With them, you will not need to explain who you are. You will not have to wrap your heart's mysteries in elaborate words. They will see you with eyes opened by my spirit, and they will understand you without explanation. They will recognize my imprint upon your life, not by what you do or say, but through the spiritual depth you carry. These will not be companions drawn by convenience, temporary emotion, or circumstantial ease. They are handpicked by me, divinely woven into your journey. These are the ones who will not retreat when you are weary. They will not walk away when the winds change. They will not see you through the lens of your past mistakes or the expectations of the world. They will perceive the seed of heaven sprouting within you, and they will water it, protect it, and wait with you until harvest time arrives. They will not compete, but uplift. They will not criticize, but upseed. They will not overshadow, but propel you deeper into the noble calling I have placed upon your life. And, my child, do not be surprised if old connections begin to fade. Some relationships that were once close may now seem distant. Do not be alarmed. Do not try to hold on. It does not mean love has ceased. It simply means the timing has shifted. A new season is dawning, and not everyone can walk with you into it. Let me be the one who decides who remains and who departs. You only need to keep your heart pure and remain open to what I am orchestrating. You are being ushered into a season where every connection in your life will carry strategic spiritual weight. I will no longer allow your time, energy, and emotions to be poured into relationships that do not edify. I am removing distractions, connections rooted merely in emotion or surface-level familiarity, to make room for those whose every word will ignite fire in your soul, whose every step will resonate with the rhythm of the vision I have placed within you. The partnerships ahead will not resemble those of the past. They will not be forged by need, advantage, or calculation. These relationships will be formed with threads, invisible yet unbreakable, the threads of my spirit. These individuals will not come to lead you onto their own paths, but to walk beside you on mine. They will not try to mold you into their image, but will stand guard over the sacred blueprint I have written into your being. I know you have grown weary of unhealthy ties, of unfulfilled promises, of silent betrayals and eyes that failed to see you. But now, I am granting you restoration in the realm of relationship. I am healing the places within you where trust has been wounded. And more than that, I am placing before you divine connections that will become bridges into new doors, new missions, and new realms of glory. Welcome those whom I have sent with spiritual discernment, yet with a heart wide open. You will recognize them not merely by their words, but by the deep peace that rests within your soul when they are near. When they speak, your spirit will resonate. When they pray, you will witness heaven respond, and even in their silence, This is my grace for you in this season, so that you will not have to fight alone, and so you will no longer feel like a wanderer, carrying a vision too heavy for one soul to bear. The path may grow narrower, but you will not walk it alone. And the light you carry on this journey will not be swallowed by darkness. On the contrary, it will shine more brilliantly than ever, because you are being surrounded, upheld, and accompanied by those who carry the same holy fire, the same spirit, and the same sacred longing. Together you will become like a small yet mighty army from heaven, shaking the barren lands and bringing life to places where hope had long been forgotten. And you will come to understand that after all you've lost, after the many things you've had to lay down, after the dreams interrupted mid-slight, I never left you in a void. I was simply making room for something better, for those more worthy of your heart, for divine connections that are born of heaven, not of the flesh, nor of human pressure. My beloved, move forward without hesitation, without doubt. Let your heart rejoice in the new thing I am doing. New allies are already on their way, arms that will not let go of you halfway, voices that will awaken what you thought had fallen asleep within. And right in the middle of this narrow path, you will find yourself being expanded, lifted, and made whole like never before. Not because you now have everything, but because you have me, and those I have sent. This is the season of divine alignment. This is the moment for relationships sealed by my holy presence. And you are the one being granted the sacred favor to step into that land. Do not turn back. Do not question. Keep walking, for what awaits you ahead will surpass every expectation you've ever held in your heart. I am making all things new, including those who walk with you. And I never do anything halfway. And you will know, not through elaborate introductions, not through titles or accolades bestowed by men. You will recognize those I have sent to your side not by their appearance, nor by eloquent words, but by the fruit of their lives, living testimonies that cannot be faked. In them you will see a steadfastness in the storm, a love without condition, a humility that the world cannot comprehend, and a faith unmoved by trial. That will be my mark upon them. For everything that comes from me will always bring forth life, will always bear the imprint of peace, and will always be wrapped in truth. You will feel something unexplainable when you're near them. Peace. Not an empty silence, but a deep, anchoring peace, as if your soul has finally found a heartbeat that matches its own. In their eyes you will find no judgment. In their voice no pressure, but you will sense a presence, my presence, shining through their every action, every word of comfort, every gentle gesture extended toward you. And you will know, this is the one I have chosen to help you carry the vision I planted in your heart long ago. The flame within you, the very flame that at times seemed to be dying out, at times reduced to a mere wisp of smoke amidst the cold winds of doubt and woundedness, will be rekindled. When you meet them, you will know that flame still lives, and more than that, it will find its companion flame. The fire I kindled in your heart will meet the fire in theirs, and together you will not burn as scattered sparks, but as a mighty torch lighting the way for many others to emerge from the darkness. This union is no coincidence. It is not the product of random chance, but the result of a meticulous design woven from eternity. For there is only so much you can accomplish alone. I have seen your perseverance, your endurance, your faithful labors carried out in solitude. But there are visions, greater, deeper callings that were never meant to be carried out by one soul alone. Not because you are inadequate, but because I ordained it this way, that greater glory might arise from the unity of hearts aligned toward me. Together, you will step into the very things that once existed only as faint images in your imagination, dreams that used to visit you in the stillness of lonely prayers, ideas you once thought too grand to ever realize. These will begin to unfold as possibility the moment you are no longer alone. What once were whispers in your heart will rise like a symphony sung by a community of souls who breathe as one. You will not merely work together, you will live together in the holy unity forged by my Spirit. Every small thing you do, an act of love, a word of truth, a gesture of service, will become like bricks laid upon the foundation of something far greater than the sum of your parts. For when I bring people together in my way, the outcome is not merely collaboration, it is heaven's creativity being birthed upon the earth. Smiling, you lean toward me and whisper, "Harry," and you will see, what I build will never fall. Structures erected by human ambition and fame may fade, but what is birthed from love, nourished by faith, bound together by sacrifice and obedience, will stand firm through every shaking of the times. This is what you will build together. A reality not limited by material means, not defined by worldly recognition, but sealed by the Holy Spirit and carrying eternal value. You may still be wondering, am I strong enough to go further? Am I discerning enough to know who God has sent? My child, I have already given you discernment. I have trained your soul through every dry and barren season. What you thought was silence was actually my refining of your spiritual eyes to see what others overlook and to hear the true voice beneath all the counterfeit noise. Trust me, you will recognize them, not with the mind, but with the heart. I've taught to hear me in the stillness, and when you walk beside them, you will discover what you once believed were limits will become launching points for greatness. The dreams long deferred will rise like kites caught in a fresh wind. Hopes that once felt like childish longings will be fulfilled in reality, not by your own strength, but through the resonance of hearts that have been refined and united for a cause far bigger than themselves. Together, you will open new doors, doors you once feared to even knock upon, thinking yourself unworthy. Together, you will write new pages in the history of your generation, not with black ink on white paper, but with lives poured out for something eternal. And in that journey, you will discover the fullest version of yourself. Not alone, not hesitant, but bold, unwavering, and full of hope. My beloved child, prepare your heart. The ones I am sending are not meant to replace you, but to complement you. They are not coming to take your place, but to walk alongside you. And in that companionship, I will do something that has never been seen before. A new season is beginning, and in this season the fire within you will burn brighter than ever, because it is no longer alone. It has found another flame to blaze with. Trust in me, dear one, for I have never made a promise without the full intention to fulfill it. What I am doing within you, and through those I am appointing to walk beside you, will shake not only your life, but also the lives of those who will be transformed through you. This is the hour of unity, the hour of restoration, and the hour when buried dreams will rise again in my light. You are ready, and I, your Father, have already opened the way. Just walk forward, and you will witness miracles far greater than anything you've ever asked for. My beloved, as I draw you closer to what I have destined for your life, I am also gently but firmly inviting you to do something essential, to let go. Not the weary kind of surrender that comes from defeat, but the sacred kind that comes from trust, a brave decision of a soul growing in maturity. Listen deeply to this call, child, for you cannot fully step into the new if your heart is still entangled in the old, not because those things were bad, but because they are no longer part of the season to come. There are things that were once blessings, once answers to prayer, but now they've become burdens. Only because you held on longer than you were meant to. I am calling you to a place that is higher, broader, and deeper. But to enter that place, you must become lighter. No one I've called to soar is permitted to carry the heavy baggage of the past. The old experiences, the wounds that have not yet healed, the attachments that once brought comfort, these must now be laid down. I don't want you holding on to anything that slows your steps, clouds your mind with doubt, or causes you to lose sight of me. The obedience I ask of you is not blind submission. It is surrender that comes from the understanding that I love you more than you love yourself. It is the obedience of someone who knows their Father is faithful, one who never makes mistakes, never delays without purpose, and never abandons those who dare to trust in him. Dear child, I am not trying to take anything away from you. On the contrary, I am preparing to pour into your life something far greater, far deeper, far more radiant than anything you've ever dared to dream. But I cannot fill what is already full. I cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. If you keep clutching outdated relationships, limited ways of thinking, or familiar methods that no longer serve your present calling, you will have no room left to receive what I long to give in your life. It's not that my blessings are withheld, but that your tight grip has restricted your capacity to receive. Picture your soul like an outstretched arm. If that arm is still clinging to the past, how can it be open to embrace the present? I know there are things that are hard to release. Perhaps it's a person, a position, or a dream that once felt so beautiful. But if they have completed their purpose in your life, then learn to say goodbye with gratitude. Do not mourn. Do not cling. Do not let what was once good keep you from what is now better. You must believe that what I am about to do will surpass even your wildest imagination. But it will only be unveiled as you dare to step into the unknown, where the feet of faith must lead ahead of feelings, where certainty does not arise from circumstances, but from my promise. I have already been in your future. I have seen the days ahead of you, and I have called them good. But to reach that place, you must be willing to leave behind what only appears safe, but is actually holding you back. I know there are familiar things that have made you feel secure. Habits, mindsets, and relationships that once brought comfort in the dark. But my child, now that the light has come, you no longer need the darkness. When I say move forward, you cannot remain standing at the crossroads of doubt. I am not angry at your hesitation. I do not scold you for your reluctance. But now I am urging you to move faster, to go deeper, because time no longer waits for your self-doubt. Remember, I have not merely called you to do something for me. I have called you to become someone in me. This calling is not just about tasks, ministries, or roles. It is a journey of transformation, a journey in which layer by layer the unnecessary coverings are stripped away so that the image I created in you can be revealed. A person of freedom, of light, of power, and of love. And you will not be alone in this journey of letting go. I will be there beside you, every step of the way. When you cry over what you must leave behind, I will wipe your tears. When you hesitate at the edge of the unknown, I will hold your hand. When you feel weary because no one else understands the depths of your heart, I will whisper into your soul words that only I know how to speak. For I am not just your guide, I am your companion. You may not see immediate results. There may be an emptiness after the letting go, but do not fear that emptiness. It is the very space I will fill. It is the sacred ground where new seeds will take root, and then, what you once thought was loss will become abundance. What you once feared was an ending will become a beginning. What you once considered sacrifice will be transformed by me into glory. Let go, not because you are desperate, but because you trust. Let go, not because you have nothing left to hold, but because you know something greater is coming. Let go, not because you no longer care, but because you are learning to care rightly, with wisdom, with light, and with guidance from the Father. I am waiting for you on the other side of surrender. I have already prepared everything: the new door, the new companions, the new strength, and the new vision. But the key that unlocks all of it is still in your hands. It is your willingness. So, my beloved, do not cling to what I am asking you to release. Believe that every time you let go in love and in faith, I will multiply it in ways no one could foresee. And as you walk through the fog, through the valley, I assure you of this: my light will always blaze before you, and I, the faithful one, will be waiting for you in the place you've never been, but have always belonged. My precious one, everything you are stepping into is not by chance. All of it has been prepared by me. Every step you've taken, every trial you've endured, every moment you thought I was silent, was in fact a part of a divine plan, meticulously woven from eternity. And now, I declare to you, the new season has come, and you are not entering it empty-handed. You are entering it with the fullness of my preparation. I have prepared the soil, a fertile ground that my own hands have tilled, cleared of thorns and watered with your tears and unwavering faith. It is a land nourished by the dreams you sowed in solitude, by the prayers no one heard, and by the sighs only I could count. And now this ground is opening up, ready to receive the new seeds of life that I will place in your hands. You no longer need to fear that your labor has gone unnoticed. No, my child, I have seen it all, and not a single seed you planted in faithfulness will fail to bear fruit. I have set a table before you, not in the halls of grandeur, but right in the heart of the battlefield. I did not wait for peace to bless you. I chose instead to prepare a feast for you in the presence of the storm so that my glory might be seen more clearly and shine more brightly than ever before. My table is not like the tables of the world. It is not merely filled with material blessings, but with satisfaction for the soul, anointing for the heart, and the fulfillment of promises long awaited in the face of doubt. And you, the one who has remained faithful in the hidden place, will now be invited to sit in the open, not for boasting, but so that all may know, I, the Lord, am faithful. I have anointed your head, not with something fleeting, but with a new anointing, thicker, holier, and more enduring than ever before. You have walked through fire. You have endured crushing pressure. But it is through that very crushing that the precious oil has flowed. And now I use that very oil to sanctify you, to set you apart for a purpose greater than yourself. You are no longer one who stands on the sidelines. You are the chosen, not because you are worthy, but because you have surrendered. Not because you are strong, but because you have been humble. I chose you not for your perfection, but because you are good soil, willing and ready for me to plant something eternal. And your cup, oh my child, your cup is about to overflow, not just with material provision, but with grace, with vision, and with spiritual strength. You once lived with just enough. You once walked in limits, in silence, in lack, both in spirit and in heart. But now I am about to fill your cup to the point where it not only satisfies you, but spills over to refresh others. What you once thought were limitations will become streams of blessing. What you once clung to out of fear of loss will now become an unending flow, because you have come to know your source is not in yourself, it is in me. Your enemies will witness this. Yes, you will not need to prove anything. I will do that for you. Those who doubted you, rejected you, and mocked you will have no choice but to behold the undeniable rise of what I have ordained. But do not let your heart be stained with bitterness. I am not bringing you into glory so that you may retaliate. I am raising you up so that you may forgive, so that you may anoint those who once wounded you, and so that you may become a living testimony of my boundless mercy. And indeed, the enemy will react. They will roar. They will raise up barriers. They will stir waves of doubt and confusion. But do not be shaken, for no power in this world or in the spirit realm can stand against what I have decreed. No scheme can cancel the anointing. No darkness can extinguish the light I have ignited within you. I will not only shield you from the enemy, I will make their very presence the backdrop for the manifestation of my miracles. When they see you lifted up, they will know this is not the work of man, but the hand of God. I have spoken, and when I speak, nothing can stop it. My word does not fall to the ground in vain. It does not return to me void. Every word I declare carries creative power, life, and destiny. And my word has been declared over your life. These are not merely promises. They are proclamations. They are royal decrees. They are commands from the throne, and no force can stop their fulfillment. Walk forward in that assurance, my child. There is no need to strive. No need to force others to understand. No need to worry about what lies ahead. For what I have begun, I will surely bring to completion. Not in haste, but in perfect timing. And one day you will look back with tears streaming down your face and whisper, "Father, I didn't understand then, but now I see." I doubted, but now I believe. I was weak, but you were strong in my place. And in that moment you will know, every tear was worth it. Every time you chose forgiveness over revenge, every time you walked in obedience without seeing results, every time you waited in faith while others gave up, it was not in vain. For now your cup overflows, the oil is being poured out, and my glory is shining upon you like never before. My beloved, do not think that what I am doing in you is merely a surface-level adjustment or a gentle redirection in the current of life. No, my child. What is coming is not just a change in circumstances, not just a relocation from one place to another. Tomorrow marks an eternal turning point. It is the moment of rebirth, not symbolic, not philosophical, but a real, deep, and complete rebirth that will reach into the innermost places of your soul. Tomorrow, you will no longer be who you were yesterday. You will no longer carry the burdens that once made you doubt yourself. The old thoughts that played like a broken record. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not worthy. Will melt away in the light of the new truth I am engraving upon your heart. You will be rebuilt by my loving hand, clothed in a new identity, new courage, and a holiness that you could never produce on your own, but which I have prepared for you since the beginning. You will rise, not as one barely recovering from a fall, but as a warrior forged in the fire, one who has tasted the depth of sorrow and the power of faith. Your boldness will not come from experience or social status. It will come from the revelation of who you are in me. It will be born out of a living, unbreakable connection between your soul and my spirit. This boldness will not be loud or boastful, but it will carry authority. It will need no validation, for your very presence will testify that I live and move through you. You will speak. And when you speak, it will not be empty words or well-crafted phrases born of human intellect. They will be words birthed from the wellspring of the Holy Spirit. Every word will carry weight, will pierce the soul of the listener, will set captives free, will heal, will awaken what has lain dormant in others. You will no longer tremble before the crowd, no longer hesitate to speak truth, no longer shrink back in the face of opposition, because you will know it is not you who speaks, it is I speaking through you. And when my word is released, it carries transformative power. It carries light strong enough to scatter even the deepest darkness. You will walk, not timidly, not with your head bowed in shame. Your confidence will not resemble the arrogance of this world. It will be a quiet strength born of gratitude and the profound awareness that I am walking beside you every step of the way. Every step your feet take is a path I have already cleared. Every turn you choose, if your trust remains in me, will not lead to confusion, but will draw you closer to your divine purpose. You will not walk alone in the shadows of uncertainty. My light will illuminate the path. And if ever you grow weary, I will lift you on the wings of my grace. You once believed you were small, confined by your past, by failure, by the words and actions of those who diminished you. But you are no longer boxed in by those things. You are growing, stronger, brighter, and holier, not by the standards of this world, but according to the original design I engraved within your spirit before you were even formed in your mother's womb. I am unveiling to you the true version of yourself, the one I created with divine intention. And when you behold yourself through my eyes, you will be amazed. Not because you are flawless, but because you have been redeemed at an immeasurable price. Not because you have never stumbled, but because every wound now bears witness to my unchanging love. Remember, outward transformation is merely a reflection of the inner revolution. When you are reborn from the depths of your soul, everything else begins to shift accordingly. The way you speak, the way you think, the way you love, the way you forgive, all of it will be washed and renewed. What once triggered your anger will lose its power. The temptations that once brought you to your knees will no longer allure you, for within you, a new source of life is now flowing. This is no longer a season of compromise. This is the season where you stand firm upon a solid foundation. This is the moment you look into the mirror and see more than just your face. You see the imprint of the Creator shining through every expression. You no longer say, "I hope." You begin to declare, "I am certain." You no longer live to please others. You live to glorify the one who called you. And you will witness this. The burdens that once weighed you down will become your strength. The trials that once wore you out will now become your reasons to sing. The cracks that once made you feel ashamed are now the very places where my light pours in the most. And you, the one who once thought yourself weak, will become a pillar not to boast in yourself, but to become a place of refuge where others may lean and find me within you. Do not be afraid of change, for this transformation does not rob you of who you are. It restores you to the essence of true life. I did not rebirth you to make a better version of the old. I rebirthed you to bring you back to the image I once dreamed of, when I formed you with love and the breath of life. Tomorrow will not be just another day. It is the day you take flight, the day you break free from the cocoon and become what heaven and earth have long awaited. And when that moment comes, it won't just be you who is changed. The world around you will tremble at the awakening of a soul restored. My beloved, prepare your heart. Let me write the next chapter of your life, not with ink, but with fire. The fire of love, the fire of calling, the fire of resurrection. And when that fire ignites, you will not be able to return to what once was. You will not want to return, because you will have seen, tasted, and known. Nothing is more precious than the life reborn by the hands of the living one. To rise, open your arms wide, step forward with a new boldness, for I, your Lord, have ordained this. And what I have ordained cannot be reversed. You are about to live not just a new life, but a new identity, a new voice, a new mission. And the world will know that you are mine, completely, unshakably, and radiant as the dawn after the darkest night. My beloved child, the foggy days of your mind, the long nights spent wrestling with the questions why and when, the seasons in which you walked without knowing if you were even going the right way, all of these are coming to a close. The days of wandering aimlessly, where you felt like a leaf adrift in the current of life, are quietly folding behind you. You no longer have to struggle in the thick mist of uncertainty. I am calling you out of that murky place into a realm where the light of truth shines forth, where your mind is illuminated and your soul is guided in peace. My dearest one, I am now inviting you into a new reality, a place of holy clarity, of divine direction, and of destiny that I wrote for you before time began. There will be no more groping in the dark. no more weary sighs from trying to carve your own way amidst 1,000 choices. You will no longer have to run in someone else's race, nor strain to keep up with anyone, for you will walk upon the very path I have carved out for you, crafted with care, uniquely designed, and perfectly suited for you. I will not let you walk in ambiguity. Not a single one of your steps will be random anymore. I will lead you with precision, one step at a time, not so fast as to overwhelm you, and not so slow as to leave you weary in waiting. Each heartbeat of yours will begin to synchronize with the rhythm of my will. You will sense my presence beside you, not as a distant echo, but as a familiar breath walking closely with you. You will not have to guess which way to go, nor fear taking a wrong turn. I will be the lamp to your feet, the light that gently guides you through every twist and bend. Your movements will no longer resemble the staggering of confusion, but the elegance of a dance, graceful, fluid, and in harmony with the rhythm of my spirit. You will not need to push to the front, nor shout to be seen, nor scramble to claim a place. For when you move in the timing I have appointed, the doors will open of their own accord, and the place meant for you will always be ready. No one can take what belongs to you, because I myself have reserved that place in my own hands. Every gift I have quietly sown within you, the talents, the longings, the capabilities you once dismissed as insignificant, will now awaken with a strength you never imagined. You will be astonished at how things that once felt so difficult now flow to you as naturally as breath. It is not because your circumstances have changed, but because you have been transformed. I am awakening the dormant wells within you, the abilities I hid for safekeeping, waiting for this very season of your life. Even the things you once thought small and unimportant will now become the very keys that unlock great doors. You will find yourself speaking the truths you once only dared to ponder in your heart. You will begin doing things you previously avoided, thinking you were not enough. But now you will no longer walk alone. Now you will move forward in my strength. Everything you do will no longer carry the burden of comparison or the shadow of fear. You will act from a place of inward confidence because you know you are walking in your divine purpose. I am not only giving you the power to do what I've called you to do, I am giving you the grace to walk in it lightly. No more heavy weight of responsibility pressing down on your shoulders. No more fear of failure looming in your mind, because your success does not lie in the outcome. It lies in your obedience. And you have obeyed. Now the harvest season begins, not because you ran the fastest, but because you remained faithful. My beloved child, embrace this new thing with faith and humility. Do not fear change. Do not hesitate before doors larger than you ever imagined you could walk through. I am already there, not only as the one who makes a way, but as the one who walks with you. I am not merely the map maker. I am the hand that guides you. Not just a distant voice giving direction, but a constant presence by your side. You will witness something miraculous. As you live according to the purpose I've given you, the things that once felt like burdens will become sources of life. The right relationships will begin to flow into your life naturally. The right doors will open effortlessly. The right battles will arise, and you will fight not with fear, but with a deep conviction that you cannot be defeated, because I am fighting alongside you. And through it all, you will be wrapped in a peace that defies logic. It is the kind of peace that can only dwell in a soul that knows it is in the right place, at the right time, doing exactly what the Creator intended. That peace will be your sign that you are in my will. My precious one, this is not merely a turning point. This is a destiny crossing. It is not just a change in season or a shift in circumstance. This is a sacred event I have long prepared, a powerful transition where I am leading you out of the desolate land of prolonged trials, of weariness, and of unanswered questions. The days of wandering like a pilgrim lost without a compass are now over. The nights you spent weeping quietly, whispering through tears, "Father, when will it be my turn?" Those are coming to a close. I have heard, I have seen, and I have moved. This is the exodus of your soul, a departure not only from a barren environment, but from an inner wilderness. You no longer have to live as someone merely surviving from day to day. You are no longer meant to shrink back in a land of just enough faith to hold on, just enough hope to keep from collapsing. No, my beloved, I did not call you to a life of spiritual minimalism. I did not design you to live shackled by lack, imprisoned by fear, or confined in the cage of your past. I am now opening before you the gate to the land I have promised, not just a symbolic place, but a real space where your destiny will bloom. This land is not for survival, it is for flourishing. It is not a place where you simply try to keep yourself from drifting away. It is where you rise, where you live fully, radiantly, and deeply as the truest version of yourself. You will no longer look toward the future with hesitation. You will no longer live as though blessings belong only to others. You will come to know you are the chosen one, the one to whom promises were made, the one entrusted with a spiritual territory to occupy and steward, with love and with power. And my child, the most wondrous part is not what you will receive, but who you are becoming. I am not merely renewing your circumstances, I am reshaping your very being. I am molding your soul in holy fire. That which was once distorted by pain, by fear, by disappointment, I am now touching and restoring. I am removing from you the old labels the world has attached: failure, weak, not good enough, and I am replacing them with the names I gave you from the beginning: beloved, warrior of the kingdom, bearer of my glory. Look at yourself with new eyes, my beloved. You are no longer the one dragging weary feet through the desert. You are no longer defined by your wounds. Now, in every step you take, you will carry the fragrance of restoration. In every word you speak, you will carry the power of deliverance. In every action, you will carry the light of life. Not because of your greatness, but because I live in you. You do not need to preach to prove that I am with you. You simply need to be present. For when you step into a space, darkness must recede. When you speak, the invisible chains wrapped around others will begin to break. When you lay your hands upon the brokenhearted, healing will begin to take place, not because you hold some secret formula, but because you carry my living presence within you. And that is the most profound part of this journey. You do not merely wear my glory like a crown upon your head. You carry it like blood flowing through your veins. Every breath you take is infused with my breath. Every act of surrender becomes a stroke in the grand masterpiece I am painting across the earth. You are a living member of heaven's design, and wherever your feet tread, my imprint follows. My child, never underestimate your steps, even when they seem small. I am moving through every seemingly insignificant gesture, a sincere hug, a gaze free of judgment, a word spoken at the right time, a quiet act of love. All of these carry power when done under the guidance of the Holy Spirit, and you will see it is not through noise or spectacle, but through faithful, steady obedience day after day that I lay the foundation for the great work I am building. Remember this, my beloved. This transformation you are going through is not momentary. It is the beginning of a life shaped by the kingdom of heaven. It is your first step into a land where you will no longer live off yesterday's miracles, but from a vibrant, daily communion with me. You will no longer need to chase signs to feel secure, for you yourself will have become a living sign, a visible testimony to the world that those who yield to me, those who remain faithful in the valleys, will be lifted up to the mountaintops in my appointed time. And then, when you stand in that land, a place of abundance, of fullness, of prosperity, not only in the material, but in the depths of your soul, you will remember the nights you sat silently in the dark, asking if I was truly listening. And you will weep, not from pain, but from fulfillment. You will realize that not a single tear you shed was wasted. I gathered them, kept them, and now they have become the downpour of blessings being poured out upon your life. You are no longer in the wilderness. You are on the road to the promised land, and I will go before you to straighten what was crooked, to level every mountain and hill, to bring clarity where there was once shadow. I will not merely guide you, I will be the way. And if you keep your heart pure, your eyes fixed on me, and your hands ready to serve, you will never lack anything. My precious child, walk on. Step forward with the deep assurance that I have called you, I have chosen you, and I will walk with you to the very end. My glory will rest upon you like a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, and the world will see, will stand in awe, and will know, this one who once wandered in the desert now carries the eternal presence of God. And that, my child, will change everything. Beloved, I know that lately your heart has been stirred with emotions that you can hardly name. I see the quiet confusion lingering in you as you try to make sense of what is unfolding, yet cannot seem to find satisfying answers. I feel the unease that creeps into your thoughts and decisions, especially as everything around you seems to be shifting too quickly, too unpredictably, far beyond your control. You are wondering, am I really being led by God? Are the things unfolding around me still part of His plan, or are they simply the chaos of life? My dear child, be still for a moment. Set aside the noise of your emotions and lay down the turmoil in your mind. For today, I have come to remind you of this truth. It is in the most chaotic moments, when everything seems to be falling apart, that I am working the most powerfully. It is precisely when you feel nothing that I am drawing closest to you. I know that change often stirs fear in your heart because it awakens old memories, unhealed wounds, and past battles you once felt you could not overcome. But this time is different, because this time you will not face the unknown alone. I am here. I have never abandoned you. I have never lost control, and my power remains as intact as it was in the beginning. You may have believed that I only reign when things are going well. But my child, I am not just the God of sunny days. I am the God of the storm, of the fog-laden seasons, and of the endless nights when you see no way out. I do not need ideal circumstances to move. In fact, I often reveal my greatness in the very chaos you assume to be random. Everything that is happening in your life, whether expected or unexpected, joyous or painful, is not beyond the reach of my sovereign design. Nothing enters your life without first passing through the filter of my perfect love and wisdom. What I allow, I have already foreseen, and if I allow it, then you can be sure that I have also prepared you for it. You may not understand the reason now, but one day you will look back and whisper in awe, "Lord, how marvelous was your guidance. Without that path, I would never have known how near you truly were." You often assess your present reality based on how you feel. But remember this: emotions are fickle friends. They shift with the weather, with people's words, with what your eyes see and ears hear. But truth does not waver. Truth is eternal, unchanged by circumstance, unmoved by feeling. And today I want you to listen to the truth, not to your emotions. The truth is, I am holding your hand. The truth is, I still have a good plan for your life. The truth is, I am using uncertainty to teach you a deeper certainty. One that is not anchored in outward stability, but in the steady anchor within your soul, where I dwell. So rise, my child. Rise above the waves of anxiety that are trying to sweep you away. Plant your feet on the solid rock of my promises. You do not need to have all the answers. You only need to know that I am leading you. And if I am leading, then you will not lose your way. Even if you are walking through the valley of shadows, do not forget that I entered the darkness first to carve a path for you. Nothing that is happening today is meaningless. Not a single detail is out of place. I am using everything, every fragment, every misstep, every wound, every long wait, to weave something more beautiful than what you ever asked or imagined. You must believe that when everything seems to be pulling away, I am actually drawing you closer. When every door closes, it might be because I am building a new one that no one can shut, because I myself have opened it. Sometimes I don't answer your prayers by changing your circumstances, but by changing you first. And once you are changed, you will begin to see your situation transform in ways you never thought possible. You once thought I was far away, but in truth, my hand has never been closer than it is right now. I am placing my palm beneath you, to lift you up, to steady you when you're about to collapse. I am wrapping my arms around you, to shield you, to protect you, to comfort you. I am drawing my lips near your ear to whisper truth when the noise of the world tries to pull you away. And my eyes, yes, they are fixed on you, missing not a single step, overlooking not one whispered prayer from your heart. You may think I'm silent, but I am speaking, just not in the way your natural ears expect to hear. I am teaching you to listen with your spirit. And when you listen with your spirit, you'll begin to hear what you've never heard before. The sound of my voice declaring that you belong to me, that you are loved without condition, that you are being transformed from glory to glory. So, my dear one, do not be afraid. Do not let the small anxieties of your heart eclipse the greatness of the plan I have for you. Rise up, look up, trust, because the same hand that holds the universe in place is also the one upholding your soul, and you will never fall outside the reach of that hand. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I was there when you took your first breath, and I am here now as you feel uncertain about how to move forward. And I will be there at the end of the road, where everything I have promised will come to pass. Let your faith rise higher than your emotions. Let my truth be louder than your doubts. For I am the one who never changes, and once my hand is upon your life, nothing, no matter how great or small, can disrupt the eternal plan I am completing in you. My beloved, listen closely, for this is the whisper I am releasing into your soul at this very moment. Amid quiet tremblings, amid the questions too deep for words, I did not come to add burdens to your shoulders. On the contrary, I am inviting you to lay down what you thought was your duty, but has in fact become a weight too heavy to bear. I know you long to understand. I know you've tried to connect every piece, hoping that someday it would all make sense. But my child, there are things that belong to my vision alone, and if you try to carry them, they will crush your mind with unspoken pressure and squeeze the peace out of your heart day by day. Today I am gently but urgently calling you. Lay down the burden of having to understand it all. You were not created to carry the whole picture. You were created to trust me, to follow the light I place at your feet, one step at a time. There is a hidden idol that has crept into many hearts, and it has begun to lurk near yours. It is the idol of comfort and predictability. It is not wrong to desire peace. It is not wrong to long for clarity. But when comfort becomes a requirement for your trust and predictability becomes your security instead of me, then that desire, quietly and subtly, has become a false god in your soul. And I, the one who loves you too much to let anything come between us, must tear down what only seems safe. Not to harm you, but to rescue you. Not to take from you, but to make room for something far more real, far more enduring, namely, my living presence and guiding hand. My child, I am calling you to step out onto the water, not the still, familiar pond of what you've always known, but the deep, restless sea, where the ground vanishes and the only thing to hold on to is me. I know it terrifies you. I know you feel too small amidst crashing waves and life's fierce storms. But remember, I never invite you into the waters to abandon you to the deep. I do not call you forward just to turn away. I am there, in the very heart of the storm, in the very place you fear the most. And if you fix your eyes on me, if you keep your gaze steady on me rather than the winds and waves, you will see what the natural eye could never behold. I have never called you to walk by sight. Your path was never meant to be clearly mapped out like a route on paper, but to be illuminated step by faith. That, my child, is what makes this journey sacred. I do not require you to see the whole future. I only ask that you trust me enough to take the next step, and then another. And in that quiet faithfulness, you will find me leading you through doors that no earthly strength could ever open, only faith. Beloved, faith is of immeasurable worth in my eyes. Faith moves the depths of my heart, not because your faith is immense, but because even faith as small as a mustard seed, when placed in the right hands, has the power to move mountains. I do not ask for perfect faith. I ask for real faith, the kind that trembles yet walks forward, that questions yet still chooses to believe, that grows weary yet refuses to turn back. You may think I seek fearless bravery to please me, but I am not looking for heroes who never shake. I am looking for those who, even in fear, still reach out and take my hand and walk on. And it is those footsteps, unsteady yet anchored in trust, that stir me deeply. It is in those moments when you whisper, "I don't understand, but I believe," that the sweetest melodies rise and echo in the halls of heaven. Faith does not merely create a path, it breaks chains. It shatters the boundaries drawn by reason. Faith is what allows me to work wonders in your life, not in the way you expect, but in a way that leaves both heaven and earth in awe. You will see, when you release control, I take over. When you accept that you cannot comprehend it all, I will grant you peace that surpasses understanding. Picture this, my beloved. If your hands remain clenched with your own plans, your assumptions, how can you receive the new things I am placing before you? You need empty hands, a tender heart, and a steadfast faith. And I promise you, if you dare to step onto the waters, with your eyes fixed on me and your heart anchored in trust, you will walk through the storm as if on dry ground, not because of your strength, but because I am holding you, not because you know the way, but because I am the way. You do not need to run fast. You do not need to prove anything. Just follow me. Let faith do what it was born to do. Lead you to places your eyes could never imagine. Don't wait for the waves to calm before you step out. Step out in the storm, and you will see that the most dangerous places are often where I reveal my nearness most profoundly. My precious child, faith is not the easiest road, but it is the only road that leads to the glory I have prepared for you. And every step of faith you take will leave a mark on the earth, marks that others will see, and through which they will find courage to walk as well. You are not walking only for yourself. You are blazing a trail for the souls who will be inspired by your life. So, my child, lay down the need to understand. Let go of the habit of relying on the familiar. Choose to trust me, even when your eyes see nothing. And when you do, the heavens will open. What once seemed impossible will begin to shift. The doors you thought were forever closed will begin to creak open. And you will know, deep within, that faith was always the key. Faith is the most beautiful song you will ever sing. Faith is the language heaven hears most clearly. Now offer me your sincere prayer. You may say it like this: Lord, I come trembling to the threshold of the unknown, but my heart is open to receive what you are doing. I no longer wish to resist change. If this is a door carved by your own hands, then let me step through it with steady feet and a trusting heart. Help me to let go of the old, the memories, the fears, and even the things that once felt safe but no longer belong. I surrender to the path you have chosen, knowing that everything that comes from your hand is good. Oh, my brother, so many things and so much blessing. Start me over if you must, but please do not let me miss what you have destined for me. Lord, I no longer want to cling to the past. The mistakes, the regrets, the what-ifs. Today, I lay them all at your feet. Break every chain that ties me to yesterday, so I may walk freely into the tomorrow you have prepared. I am no longer afraid of letting go, for I believe that what you hold for me is greater than what I'm trying to hold for myself. Fill me with new hope, and lead me forward with confidence that comes from your presence. Lord, I feel so small for what you're calling me into, but I am grateful that you did not choose me based on my own strength. Grant me new eyes to see as you see, a new heart to feel what is heavenly, and a strong spirit to hear your voice even in the storm. If this is the season I was born to live in, then let me walk in that calling without hesitation. I no longer want to live halfway. I want to live fully in the purpose you have placed upon my life. Lord, there are times when my heart trembles amid the shaking. Everything I once knew feels unstable, and all that was familiar seems to be vanishing. But let me see the beauty being formed out of the broken pieces. Help me to believe that this is not a collapse, but a recreation. I choose to stand, not by my own strength, but upon the word you have spoken, that you have never let me go. Lord, there are moments I can no longer recognize myself, and the path ahead feels clouded with fog, but I know that you see each step clearly. Give me the faith to walk even when my eyes cannot see. Grant me the trust to let go of my own plans and take hold of your hand. Let my faith be greater than my fear. Let my trust be stronger than my doubt. For I believe that every step with you brings me closer to fulfillment. Lord, clothe me with a new garment, one of boldness and authority that comes from your Spirit. When I tremble to speak, place your words upon my lips. When I move, let my steps align with your divine plan. Make me a light in the darkness, not because I am strong, but because you are the light within me. Lord, I do not know what seeds I have sown, but if this is the season in which you are allowing me to reap, then I open my heart to receive. Help me not to shrink back in fear or in feelings of unworthiness. Give me the courage to receive what you have prepared for me, even if it surpasses my expectations. I do not want to reject heavenly rewards simply because I have grown used to lack. I choose to believe that you are the God of abundance, and I will enter this new season with arms wide open. Lord, today I stand before you not as the person I once was, but as the one you have destined me to become. I receive the crown of victory that you place upon my head. I declare that I am chosen, I am loved, and I am sent. I am no longer a prisoner of regret or fear. I am a vessel for your glory. Teach me to walk in this new identity each day. Do not let me return to what is old and no longer serves your purpose. Constantly remind me that I am sealed with your Spirit, and nothing and no one can take that away from me. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. If you love the Lord, don't forget to click subscribe and turn on the notifications so you won't miss any life-giving, meaningful messages from God. Together, we will grow in faith and live a life fully rooted in His love. Amen.